Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to some more Project Zomboid, and, well, I had to spend the night here in the Rusty Rifle again. Had some beer for breakfast, the breakfast of champions, of course, and, I think we're about to head out, we're about ready to head out. Here's the thing, I'm going to be completely blatant and transparent with you for the sake of overall entertainment. And yes, I'm going to have to sort of step out of character here for a second. For the sake of overall entertainment, I had to do a couple of things. One of them is to look at the map and see where I should be going, or rather, where I could go to find a home in this general area, because honestly, I don't think you want me to spend the next 10 episodes looking, one building after another. So I wanted to have just sort of like a general sense of direction of where I want to go, and that's more or less exactly what I have now. So I know where roughly I want to be going. The beauty of it is that the 10 years later mod does not have a map of its own, like the Project Zomboid map project. I think that's roughly what it's called, right? Basically, it's a 3D map where you can zoom in into each location. The vanilla game has it. 10 years later does not. Although it's, it doesn't really need it because it's mostly similar. There are some pretty big differences in a couple of places, so I don't know exactly what I'm getting into, but I know roughly the area I want to be in, and so that's where we're heading now. I could have just made up some, BS excuse as to why I'm doing it, but I wanted to be honest with you that I did look at the map. I glanced over it really quickly to remind myself where the gated communities are and where the potential spots might be to set up a base and set up more permanently, because I'm really tired of living like a nomad. Okay, that's interesting. I'm really tired of living like a nomad. It would be fun if I had an RV or something, and then that could be extremely fun, but not with 10 years later. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to put that down a little bit. Unfortunately, I resorted to looking at the map, which might not be the most honourable thing to do, but at the same time, it is information I could have worked with, having prior experience here and so on and so forth. And yes, I remember. In fact, where we're going now used to be an old base of mine before. It's just that it's been a while and I've forgotten where it was exactly, and now I remember. So yeah, there you go. Didn't need to tell you anything, but I felt the need to because we're not exactly going where I said we would be. The idea last time was to, I think, explore this area up here, sort of. Oh, I can see you. Yeah, yes, I can. But we're not really going to be doing that because, well, like I mentioned, I found a much better spot, which is, close by, mind you, so, yeah. Anywho, also, on top of all of that, why am I not getting information of what kind of zombie they are? It's, weird. It's going to be in this rough direction. And there should be a couple of gated communities, or not a couple of gated communities, it should be like one row of streets with, one row of houses, each with a tall fence around it, or at least with three sides, of it being a secure tall fence. Granted, there's probably some damage on those fences that I'm going to need to do repairs on to, get it to be functional again, but that's fine. I really don't have a problem with that. It's just that I'm looking for a sort of, like I said, rough template for a base that's going to basically reduce the amount of work I need to do to set it up, not completely eliminate it. And anyways, like, taking one step forward, two steps back was really the final nail in the coffin when I had to go back to the pub to spend the night. Yeah, that was... That made me really want to go back and re-examine the map and really think about my choices. I also, sort of in between this episode and previously, I swapped out some of my clothing. Some of it was damaged, some of it was just dirty, and I washed myself up, although I didn't have enough water to wash all my clothing. So, as you can see, the machete's still dirty as all hell. My pants are still dirty. The backpack is also a mess, even though you can't really see it. Just everything is soaked with blood, but I guess I cleaned myself up a little bit, so I look a little bit more presentable. I wanted to do it in the rain, as you can see, but yeah, rain intensity too low, apparently. Whatever that means. Looks like it's pouring outside as far as I'm concerned, but, you know, apparently I'm not even wet right now, so it's a light trickle is what this is. Supposedly, right? I want that denim shirt. I think I do. Let's put on that denim shirt. Never mind. Yeah, it's not that, there's like one hole in it, which is fine. But other than that, it's gonna get a bit colder around here soon. I mean, time-wise, we're not exactly in winter yet, but yeah, it's gonna start getting colder and colder around here, so, especially with the rain and everything, so yeah. Although, as we, yeah, we're heading this way. As we head into autumn, or fall, depending on which of the two words you prefer, we're probably going to have more and more rain, which is great if I want to collect water. Not so great temperature-wise and health-wise, because you can catch a cold if you're too wet and stay outdoors during rain season, but this rain apparently doesn't. This water apparently that's falling from the heavens isn't wet. I know, trust me, I know. I have no idea why this is happening. Usually you get at least a little bit wet from rain like this, but apparently not. I was having some stutters, and I think I know why that is. There was an update, and I think my RAM allocation settings got changed, so I might need to look into that a little bit. Although, again, I've started the episode with sort of stepping out of character a little bit, so I'm going to continue in that rough vein for at least a couple of more minutes. I looked at some of the engine changes and performance changes coming up with the next update, which should drop, like, relatively soon, right? Apparently, the performance difference is so immense that they can now do 3D corpses. That's huge. So, you know, every time you kill a zombie, it turns into a 2D sprite on the ground. They are no longer going to be that. They're now going to be proper 3D corpses on the ground, so there won't be like a transition, as you can see right there, between them being, you know, going from 2D to 3D. That will no longer exist. That is huge, and I mean absolutely huge. Yeah, there's just... That is currently being done to save performance, because obviously you can't have 3,000 dead zombies lying all over the place for no apparent reason. They don't do anything, and yeah, this saves a ton of frames for you right now. But apparently, the engine and improvisation, sorry, the engine and God, what's the word I'm looking for? Optimization, there we go. The engine optimization and general fixes and work that they're doing on it and so on and so forth is going to bring, supposedly, such a huge change to everything that we know that, yeah, it's going to be bloody amazing, apparently. I don't believe it until I see it. Not because I have anything against the devs, quite the opposite, but, you know, just, I'm cynical. By nature, I suppose. And, I don't want to... make any promises too soon, but... yeah, okay, never mind, it's too soon. Not yet, not yet. But, as I was saying... this area is beginning to look a lot like home. Of course, the one thing I don't like is that a lot of the fences that were here have just been removed. They're not damaged, they're just gone. So that house is barricaded too, which is pretty bloody amazing. And as you can see, I mean, there's a few undead here and there. There's probably some in the houses, and yeah, all of that stands, but there's not like a billion of them, right? I mean, what I'm getting at is this is manageable, yeah? In fact, more than manageable. And so, I'm thinking this barricaded house looks really, really good. 2-story house. Windows come pre-barricaded, which is nice. Fences around it are okay. I mean, there's going to be a lot of building to do. But there's going to be a lot of building to do anyway. Considering that this whole neighborhood, all the fences in this whole neighborhood are just... well, let's just say they're not doing all that well. I suppose I could check the house next door, because the fence seems to be more in order. Well, not really. But I guess I could check. Yeah, it's alright. Whichever one I pick, I don't think I'm gonna regret it. Okay. Good. Good, I really need to get rid of this stuttering. I didn't know there was going to be that big of a difference with the performance reset and all that. I really didn't. That is amazing. Okay. How much of a difference that made? That was, yeah. I'll do that for next time. For now, though, let's find a way in here without having to... ah, well, sure. Really? No, I'm not going to pry it open. I'm going to end up killing myself if I do that. I have to let them break it, unfortunately. Then I'll have to rebuild the door, but... eh. Really? You too? Oh, for crying out loud, just open it. Right. Come on, this way, kids. Let's go. Let's go, come on. One and then the other. Now it's your turn. Come on, you two. Out into the road. The reason I'm not killing them indoors is I have to clean up their blood if I do it indoors, and that's going to be my house, so I'd rather not create extra work for myself. I probably have to spend like a better part of the day removing all the vines and grass and dirt and stuff that's already in there, so I don't want to add more to what I need to do. Makes sense, right? The one thing I would have loved was a well. That would have been almost too good, right? That would have been almost too perfect, but the house is in... minus the grass growing from the... bloody floor somehow. The house is in perfect condition. I mean, look at this. Even have sheets on the top floor to stop them from seeing you. Yeah, that was brilliant. Okay, I know there's something in there. Hey, do you reckon you could follow me downstairs? Are you smart enough to do that? Indeed you are. Right, that's a smart cookie. Nice. Yeah, come on, let's go. This way. Lovely. And lay down right there. Right. So I really can't play the game like this. I'm getting huge stutters. I allocated like I think 16 gigs of RAM to it or something. The default amount is 4 or whatever it was. And there was an update and I had to... yeah, I know for a fact it changed my settings, and so... yeah. Yikes. Okay, spiked baseball bat. Interesting. Rename it and call it Lucille. And if you got that reference... cheers. Alright. Home sweet home. Honestly, it's better than I expected. Given, you know, how much I've been looking and just was unable to find anything worth a damn. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to remove all this grass that's growing in my home. How it's growing from the floorboards is beyond me, but... oops. I suppose it doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm going to clear all of this up, and we're going to turn this house into a home, and what I'm going to need you to do is answer me a simple question of how much of this should I do off camera, and how much of it should I do on camera. Because, granted, me removing grass from the floor isn't the most engaging content you've ever seen, and yeah, I reckon I should do this off camera, and I will. On the other hand... what the hell? I'm sorry, there's dogs fighting outside my window. They're not mine. I have nothing to do with them, but... I must admit, it is disturbing. I want to see what's going on. Let me just finish my sentence. I am going to do, like, clean up like this, obviously, off camera, because it's not very engaging. But what about, like, inventory management and exercising, if I'm going to be doing any of it? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. But, like, what about inventory management and construction and stuff like that? How much of it should I do off camera? How much of it should I do on camera? Because setting this base up, building the fence around it and all that is gonna take, like, a few episodes. 5, 6, maybe even more with edits. So yeah, I don't want to linger here for too long. But on the other hand, we've had like 30 episodes or 40 or so of me just being a nomad going from place to place. This is going to be like the other side of the game, which I have yet to showcase, so I don't really want to skip over too much of it. But yeah, I suppose I'd like some input from you guys on that. Anyways, yeah. Tell me, and I will stop playing for a couple of days, I guess, so I can get rid of the backlog, and I'll make my decision based on what you guys tell me, and we'll see how it goes, I suppose. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video, and stay tuned with the rest of the content that I produce on this channel. Or actually, no. You know what? No, not yet. Recorded this episode and the previous one in like the same go, and I get the feeling this one's a lot longer than it is. It isn't. Tell you what, I'm going to clean up the house a little bit, and I'll come back to you for at least one part of the inventory management, which is something I do want to share. Oh, but stuff like this I'm definitely doing off camera. Like, I'm going to need to move some of the furniture around to clean up the house. Ugh, that would be... God, that is so annoying. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit, I guess. Okay, so I've cleaned up the house, removed all the vegetation, upstairs and downstairs, and as you can see, indoors at least, I missed this one. Okay, give me a second. There we go. Right, now I've cleaned everything up, I think. Yeah, well, indoors at least. I'm not exactly looking to clean the outdoor area, and I also missed this one too. Oh, crying out loud. Okay, now I've cleaned everything up. And, well, place is looking so much nicer already. I do need to fix up these windows, board them up, and all of that good stuff. Gonna do that in a bit. For now, I want to get down to some inventory management. First and foremost, this is going to be the melee weapons cabinet. So I'm going to put the garden fork in there. I'm going to put the katana in there, the extra kukuris, the military machete, and finally start taking off the £5 million worth of stuff that I'm carrying in the backpack and have been carrying for the longest time now, with only ever so slight exaggerations, right? Yeah, yikes. Okay, so that's going to be the melee weapons department, I suppose you can call it. Here, I'm going to have, just grab this really quickly. Here, I'm going to have tools, for cooking, such as, you know, pans, pots, and stuff like that. And then over here, I'm going to put stuff like canned goods and, is it my pockets, or is it, where is it? Didn't I just pick up, yeah, canned beans, there we go. Good, and then over here, there's a bunch of weapons. Like, there's this Para-Ordnance P14, 1911. Interesting. A Glock 42, a USAS-12, a Daewoo DR, a Cricket 22, my first rifle. Interesting. An AC Honey Badger with extended stock. I don't think this one's internally suppressed, but either way, it's cool. I'm going to place those, you know, somewhere eventually. Up here, yeah, let's grab all of this. So, inventory organizing. I'm just going to grab this so I can throw it out. And then the fridge, obviously, is going to be home to all the liquids, beers and water and stuff like that, even though the fridge doesn't actually work because we don't have electricity yet. Once it starts working, that'll be all nice, and then we can put these in here, and we now have a very small stockpile of food, but we have a stockpile of food for once. Could you imagine? And then obviously I will place like cans and stuff on top of the actual counter itself over here for storage, so it looks cool, but you know, I'm going to use both the internal and external storage for these things. And then, do I really want to keep all the weapons here? I mean, I can. It's not like I have that many. And I think they can all fit. Yeah, they should all fit in there, right? More or less. Yeah, the honey badger's not fitting in there, is it? Definitely not. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna put some of the weapons probably on a table here, or like 2 tables here, which I'm gonna get from one of the adjacent houses. So that's gonna be nice. Up here, I think everything is set up already. We have a nice little bed here, windows and everything. The lag spikes are back. I did update the RAM thing. It helps ever so slightly. Like, the game feels a little bit smoother, but I do get those lag spikes in this area all the time for some reason. Yeah, I know. What can we do about it? Oh, I picked up the wrong thing first. It's a shame. No, 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 what are you doing? Put the TV down. Okay. And then pick this up. And then put it down here. Then we pick the TV up and we put the TV on top of this thing. Right, lovely, there you go. This is exactly how it was previously. I'm just returning things to the way they were. This chair is... it's excess furniture I don't need down here, so I'm going to just move it upstairs really quickly, and I can find a good spot probably for it in here. I mean, it's not ideal, but you know what, it'll do. It's better than hogging up all the space downstairs. Okay, good. In fact, more than good. This is excellent. Obviously, I'm going to throw this away. Then, this area in here is a bit small to have all the tools in it. So I'm probably going to have to expand it, but that's fine. I can always put, I think I can put a box down there, right? Let's go, let's say carpentry and then wood crate, and I can probably put a wooden crate like down here. So yeah, you know what? Fine. Glue, duct tape. I'm going to keep the box of nails because I'm going to need nails for construction that I'm about to do. But then stuff like the batteries, the welding rods, that all goes in there. Wrench screwdriver I'm keeping with me, and I'm going to keep all this stuff with me as well. Yeah, that works. Okay, good, lovely, in fact. I think we're now ready to go out and build stuff. How and where exactly are we going to do that? I think I want to barricade the house first. Yeah, I reckon I definitely want to barricade the house first. So saw all of these logs down. And do you remember the axes and all the tools that we picked up? Sorry, we didn't pick them up, but that we noted down exist. Not too far from here in those warehouses and stuff. They're going to come very, very handy. In about 2 or 3 days, maybe. I still have this hatchet that I can use for... Oh, okay. Like I said, still have the hatchet, which I can use for cutting down trees, but I'm going to need a slightly better axe for that soon, and so I'm going to get one. But of course, first and foremost, I want to secure this house. I want to complete the fence, link it up to the already existing stuff, and make sure I'm safe in here, and then probably first priority is going to be getting down a garden and a well. Of course, the problem therein is that I don't know how to make a well, I don't think. Which, yeah, it is a problem. And then the second problem is the resources required to make a well are... Well, let's just say it's a investment, all right. Yeah, it's not something you can exactly do overnight. But it will provide me with an practically infinite amount of water, and that's honestly something I'm very much looking forward to. And considering that I intend on staying in the area, reckon we can start using the gun a little bit too. Which I haven't done in a while, but you know. Here, each of these I get rid of actually contributes to the place being safer. And so it's not really wasting ammo in any sense of the word, which I think is very important. That we do not do, because if the previous few days have shown me anything, it's that the area around here is not exactly chock full of resources, and that it's gonna be interesting, but I'm gonna have to walk a fair distance to get anything I want, be it, you know, food, tools, books, all that stuff. I'm going to need to walk a fair bit. And with all the vegetation, it's going to be extra difficult to actually get to places where I need to be. So, yeah. Overall, it's going to be a big challenge just to survive, because, yeah, no food, no electricity, and very limited resources. From what I can see, and okay, granted I haven't seen a lot, but from what I've seen recently, resources way more limited than in Raven Creek. One thing we have an abundance of is car parts. mostly useless car parts. Other than that, there isn't much around here. There's not a lot of food. There's no water, I mean, other than what's already in the pipes. So yeah, I'm going to have to build everything manually, and the fact that I don't have any books is also going to be pretty, pretty challenging. Although I can, I think, check that, right? If I go over to info and then training material, yeah, here we go. And then recipes. Yeah, how to use generators I know. In the basement I know. Before the pipelines, I can make wells. Okay. Thankfully, I'm not going to need to find all of the books. The journal I picked up from Sylvester Jones had a lot in it already, a sort of abridged version of all those things, which I need. So, thankfully, there's that. But any books I'm going to need in the future, I mean, there could be a bookstore somewhere in town, I suppose. But I'm not holding out much hope for that being any, well, any good or any useful, really. I doubt most of the books will have survived, and, yeah, I mean, this place is just worse than Raven Creek in pretty much every single feasible way, apart from population. That's the one thing where this place should be superior to Raven Creek. It should have fewer walkers around, and I think now that I've actually eliminated a good chunk of them coming into town, there's obviously, you know, probably about 2/3 of the town I haven't seen yet, or maybe even more than that. You can see on the map. But even still, population should be a little bit more manageable. Because, yeah, you can see, I mean, I've cleared this out, I've cleared this out. Yeah, there is no universe in which this is a third. This isn't even like a 10th of the town, probably, that I've cleared out. But still, more manageable than Raven Creek. Raven Creek was just an infinite sea of undead continuously coming towards you. Here, there is a end in sight. Not yet. Not in a long while, but let's say, hypothetically, I get, like, I don't know, a couple of thousand rounds of 5.56 or something. If I go around and start shooting stuff, it's gonna make a noticeable impact, right? And so, yeah. I think that's pretty bloody important that we acknowledge that, I suppose you could say, right? Okay, the fence is gonna go, well, it's not much of a fence now, it's a wall, really, but yeah, it's gonna go this way. And would you look at that? I mean, granted, I'm still fair ways away from actually finishing and turning this house into a home, but you can see it happening, sort of, right? That's sort of the point. You can sort of see it taking place. Ignore that. Anyways, yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. I'm gonna sit down for a little bit. Gonna have some water probably, and didn't I? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have a drink. Probably have something to eat, and take off some of these clothes, I think, because I don't need to be wearing all of this. I'm in a relatively safe area. And I'm going to continue working on the house a little bit, and I will see you next time. Until then, have fun, take care, bye-bye.